we've got the all-new Kia K5.
It's a mid-size sedan with a lot of standard features, including standard all-wheel drive.
Let's get in and take it for a ride.
Oh yeah, we're in the K5 from Kia, formerly known as the Optima. What's under the hood, Andrea?
A 1.6-liter turbo 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 180 horsepower, and 195 pound-feet of torque.
And K5, by the way, is the name of this car in the domestic Korean market.
Yeah.
So they've just gone now for a global name instead of having a unique North American.
I like it better. I like K5.
Catchy,
Yeah.
K5. So we have so much coming up. You don't want to miss anything. We have our questions, coffee, and cars, our hot topic.
We'll check out the competition.
Look at fuel economy, our price pause, so much coming up. But right now, let's get into what are the key standard features.
The Kia K5 base model comes with an 8-inch touchscreen, a 4.2-inch LCD instrument cluster, wireless Apple Carplay and Android Auto, heated cloth seats, two-way driver's seat lumbar support, heated leather-wrapped steering wheel, leather-wrapped shift knob, LED headlights, 16-inch wheels, and blind spot monitoring along with lane keep assist.
Okay, Andrea, what do we have to put it in?
We have to put it in S for subscribe, and if you can hit the notification bell, you get notified every time a video drops, and then you can watch them.
And you need to follow Andrea on Instagram because we have our hot topic coming up, our questions, coffee, and cars, plus great photos. It's Motormouth_Andrea, and for me, it's Motormouth_Auto.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.
This thing is the cousin of the Sonata from Hyundai. Hands down, a way better looking car.
I think so. More dramatic looking. I think that it looks cooler. It has cleaner lines. You know, a lot of people just felt that the Sonata, it's overstyled.
It's got the big catfish mouth, the droopy eyes. I don't understand the styling of that car at all. This one I get. This one speaks to me. And those daytime running lights, they call them heartbeat lights because it looks like, you know, the heartbeat graph.
Yeah,
right?
It looks so sharp. I love them.
And
I love the back.
Yeah.
The rear combination light, that strip, gorgeous.
You know what I like is it's something you probably wouldn't notice right away, but the chrome detail that goes down the side of the car actually goes all the way across the back. Typically you don't see that. It's just the small detail. Oh, but one thing, what do people hate on the back of cars? The exhaust tips, right?
Yeah, the exhaust tips.
Now this one has the fake exhaust tips. People, for whatever reason, despise that. I'm only bringing it up. Doesn't bother me, but a lot of people dislike that.
They really hate it. So I want to talk about the interior. First off, I think the fit and finish in here is beautiful. All trims but the base model come with leather seats, a wireless charger, the 18-inch wheels.
Yeah, a lot of great stuff.
Oh, and the panoramic sunroof.
One thing we should say is they have one top trim above this, which is the real GT. That's the one with the bigger engine. This one is called GT Line, which gives you the same aesthetic and the same interior without the engine. And this is one thing. We had the Sonata N-Line recently.
We did.
I'll take this interior over that interior any day of the week. One thing, flat bottom steering wheel.
Yeah.
Proper shifter. No push button shifter. And leather seats. That car had faux suede seats. You like that better?
I just like the look of faux suede. I like the look of suede, but this is quite nice. One mention about the center console shifter, there have been some complaints about that it looks a little bit old-fashioned, but I'm just happy that we've got a traditional center console shifter here.
Leather wrapped. It feels great. I disagree with that.
The GT line as well as the GT model, they both come with the bigger screen. So you get a 10.25-inch screen instead of the 8-inch. This GT line comes with a 4.2-inch instrument cluster, but if you move up to the GT model, then you get the 12.3-inch instrument cluster. Plus, both of the top trims come with ventilated seats. Now, in the back row, the second row, this GT line trim does not come with the air conditioning vents.
It's a bit weird because Kia and Hyundai are so good at loading their cars up with all the stuff, and not to have vents in the back seems like a major omission. One thing I want to say before we move on, Andrea, is the faux wood on the dash is just an applique. I think it looks pretty good though. It kind of contrasts with all the black in here. I don't mind it.
I don't mind it, and you've got the piano black at the center console. I think it's got some nice contrasting features in here. I think just generally it looks pretty good.
You have a lot of questions about this, so let's stop and have some coffee.
Time now for questions, coffee, and cars.
Your questions from Instagram.
Prefer the look of the K5 over the Sonata. However, overall, I don't feel that it's as reliable as the Accord. Do you think it stacks up reliability-wise to its Japanese rivals? Well, I'm going to quote the JD Power study again, and actually Kia's number 3, Lexus is number 1, so I would say they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah,
right?
and in the past, they've been number 1 in initial quality, so take it for what it is. Listen, I always say this, if you're concerned about reliability with a brand, buy something else.
Yeah.
There's lots of cars out there. If you think the Accord is the gold standard, buy an Accord.
Yes. Does Kia and Hyundai still have an inexpensive feel on the road when comparing it to Toyota or Honda in regards to chassis and NVH?
That's noise, vibration, and harshness.
There you go, Zach.
I would say that they're as good as the others. I don't think there's any difference anymore.
No, I agree with you. I think this feels really good. Damn, this looks so good. Would you consider this to possibly rival some German brands, or is that a stretch? I think it's a stretch for sure. It's the engine.
You forgot about Volkswagen. You're thinking luxury German, but I would say
Volkswagen for sure.
This compared to a Passat, probably take this.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. I know that K5 GT was not made available in all-wheel drive to avoid stepping on Stinger's toes. However, Kia never got a 2.5-liter turbo Stinger engine to Canada for the 2022 model. So is this a lost opportunity for Kia and Hyundai? Would love seeing their 2.5 turbo engine with all-wheel drive in any model. So true. The Stinger only comes with a 3.3-liter turbo V6.
And you know what? You're asking the question everybody's asking. Why did the top trim of this, with the most powerful engine, is only available with front-wheel drive? It makes no sense. If I was a betting man, and I'm not, I bet you it will come eventually.
Yeah.
Maybe not this year, maybe not next year, but probably 1 year.
I like the bigger engine in this as well as in the Sonata, but it's front-wheel drive and it's not really the best for us here in Canada.
Yeah.
So
Too
bad. That's it.
All right. If you want to get a question in, you need to follow Andrea. It's Motormouth_Andrea, and the link is below if you don't remember that. And right now, because you hear the music, it's time for nightlife. In every review, we keep 1 or 2 questions back from Questions, Coffee, and Cars and expand on them. We call it our hot topic. What's this week?
In a world of CUVs that all look more or less the same, it's great to see some brands still making sedans that stand out from the crowd. But my question is, how does it drive? Is the sacrifice of practicality worth it for the driving experience?
You know what's interesting, Andrea, because so many people are buying utility vehicles that car companies are throwing way more at sedans.
Yeah.
Like years ago, no all-wheel drive. This car now comes standard with all-wheel drive. The engine that's in this car, even though it's not that 290 horsepower engine, is still a premium engine in the Hyundai and Kia family. Typically, when you get this 1.6-liter turbo, it's at the higher end of their SUV range. That's included in this car, stuff like that.
Yeah, and when it comes to storage in this sedan, there's plenty of it. There is so much room in the second row. And that is a deep trunk back there. I mean, just plenty of space.
I encourage anybody that's been driving an SUV for the last 5, 7, 8, 10 years, you've been driving an SUV and you haven't driven like a mid-size sedan like this, maybe rent one next time you're going somewhere. They're comfortable.
Yeah.
The back seats are roomy. The trunks can gobble up a ton of stuff. And if I was doing a lot of driving, I think a sedan is the way to go.
Well, a sedan is really quite a comfortable vehicle to be in. The only thing is a lot of people like a utility because they sit up a bit higher. That is not the case, obviously, in a sedan. So if you're willing to give that up, this might be a great choice for you.
And while we're at it, talking about sedans, let's look at what else is in the marketplace.
For your consideration, 4 categories and 4 vehicles for you to consider.
Here are 4 comparable all-wheel drive sedans. The first one up is the Nissan Altima. It has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine that pairs with a CVT. It has 188 horsepower and a starting price of $29,500.
Toyota recently added all-wheel drive to the Toyota Camry. It has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine with an 8-speed automatic transmission, 202 horsepower, and a starting price of just over $30,000.
Next up is the Subaru Legacy. It comes with a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine matched with a CVT. It has 182 horsepower and a starting price of $26,500.
Now, Mazda 3 is in one class smaller, but we thought we'd add it. It has a 2.5-liter 4-cylinder engine and a 6-speed automatic transmission, 186 horsepower, and a starting price of $26,500. This car is also available with a turbo version. So there are 4 vehicles for you to consider.
So I feel like I was a bit spoiled with the Sonata N-Line. I do miss that engine in this K5, but I am enjoying this engine as well. It's obviously not as powerful, but it is a great city vehicle. It has a quiet cabin, and when it comes to potholes and the rough road, you really don't feel it. It just feels quite smooth.
You know what I like about this 1.6-liter turbo? When you have it in that mid-range torque, when you have the shifter here, when you get the revs up and it's got a bit of a nice growl to it.
It does.
And on the outside, Andrea, while we're doing our filming, it gives this, you can hear the turbo. So it's kind of a satisfying car at the same time.
Yes.
So yeah, not 290 horsepower, but no slouch either.
Now the question is there good value with this vehicle? Let's check out the pricing. Time for a price pause. The pricing for the K5 all-wheel drive starts at $29,500. The GT line, which we are test driving, is just under $36,000. The top GT with 290 horsepower but front-wheel drive is just under $40,000. Let's check fuel economy. The K5 gets 9.2 liters per 100 kilometers in the city, 6.9 on the highway, and 8 liters per 100 kilometers combined.
All right, Andrea, final thoughts.
Well, I've driven plenty of sedans in my time, and big ones at that. I like a big car. I like the way it feels, and I like the roominess of it all.
Just leave it there.
Well, Kia should be pretty proud of this K5. The fit and finish of the interior and the exterior styling is very dramatic.
Whatever you call it, this is a really nice mid-size car. And congratulations for adding standard all-wheel drive.
This video is brought to you by Car Cost Canada. Get the dealer's cost, list of rebates, plus discounted interest rates. Use the promo code Motormouth to become an expert member and get extra searches. The link is in the description below.